Ready for Madness question 1.
With the Nets and Dallas winning, is it time we start looking at the reverse standings?
I will be honest, Jason, as opposed to lying. I have been kind of in my head thinking, and again, this is me. I don't speak for the show. Showocracy, not showtatorship. I have been trying to think of new and interesting ways to cover this team this year. In my mind, this team is really not great.
Right.
Somebody asked me over the weekend because they're winning 21.4% of their games. Okay, so if we extrapolate that, that means they are on pace right now to win 17 and a half games.
Okay.
Now,
and the worst season they ever had was 17.
I still think they're probably a mid-20s team. Okay. I do because of a combination of things. The schedule has been the craziest in the NBA. They're going to get Keegan Murray back. And no, I'm not one of those Keegan truthers that thinks he's going to come back and average 30. I think Keegan's going to come back and it's going to be underwhelming for a little bit, but it will help. And I think the combination of that, the schedule clearing up, and then at some point, I do think Perry's going to make moves. And those may also have an added effect of freeing up some things. And I think at this rate right now, barring Scott Perry making moves where it's like, Levine, DeRozan, and Sabonis are gone, and it's like pretty much all picks and babies, like literal babies coming back. Rotational babies, but still babies. I think they're going to fart out a 25-ish win season, which I know there's a lot of people listening to that in the Pro Tank crowd going, ugh. I hear you. I just wonder that even if they tried at this point, could they win in the teens? Mm-hmm. Even if they were trying to tank short of sitting half the team. So, but we're only 14 games into the season. And again, my opinion here, the season's effectively over when it comes to competing and I think most everybody has come around to the fact this is not a great team. That being said, what is incredibly scary is that with the tough schedule, with Keegan Murray being out, with everything going on, with the 6-game losing streak, losing 8 of 10, losing 11 of 14, they're 2.5 out of the play-in.
Yeah, I mean, the 9 seed's below 500. The 10 seed, they're 2.5 behind. Again, we're not trying to put any kind of false, that would be the farthest thing I'm trying to do is false hope.
Right.
It just shows you, I think there's been years where you go, well, the West is too tough.
Yes.
Like this team certainly can't compete in the West. I think the top 6 of the West is a level above, maybe even top 7.
Yeah.
The rest is it's a cliff. And there might even be multiple tiers between 1 and 7, too. Like, I mean, OKC is probably a standalone. I think Houston's up there, probably Denver. In fairness to the Lakers, they haven't had LeBron. I mean, he's one of the best of all time. So what will they look like with him? But, and then if you look at it, you're trying to look at this in the most optimistic way for the Kings. I still think kind of what you said. They're not formed right. They're not the best of teams.
Right.
But if I'm looking at the 9 through 15 seeds in each conference, the Kings have played 1 game against a team in that range in the West and 1 game against a team in that range in the East, and they're 1-1 in that.
Right.
So they've got a lot of games against those teams.
Yes.
But, I mean, I don't know if they played all those teams the next 20 games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sitting here going, well, they're going to rip off 16-4.
No.
I mean, they might be better than what they've been doing, but are they going to go 7-13? It's like, okay, that's still not a very good team.
But it's still 7 wins.
Yeah.
By the way, the last 3 years, counting back forwards, 42, 46, and then last year, Dallas was 39-43. 42 wins, 46 wins, and 39 wins got you that final play-in spot.
Okay. I think it'll be lower.
We are on track to be incredibly lower this year, as you said, with Utah right now at 5-8. Utah at 5-8, winning 38.5% of their games. 40% would be around 33, 34 wins. And these things are going to move. Like, for example, if I had to guess right now, I could be wrong. I think the Clippers and the Mavericks will probably make the play-in.
Okay.
The Clippers are at 4-9. They're a game out. The Mavericks are at 4-10. I just Anthony Davis is probably going to play at some point. Kyrie Irving's going to come back. Cooper Flagg's going to mature. He's 18 years old. I just think if I'm choosing, anyways. So yeah, I do. I've been trying to think of, well, how can we not just keep people interested, from a business and rating standpoint, but also me. I need to be interested. I'm not gonna lie, man. I watch every minute pretty much. I had the game on. I had no faith. Once they were down 10, weren't they down 10 at the end of the first or near that, somewhere like that? They were, and they cut it back. The only question for me, I put the poll question out, by the way, which is, are they going to win? Are they going to lose by 20 or more? They lost by less. But I had absolutely no confidence in them being able to come back. And by the way, that was with no Wembanyama.
Right.
That was with no Dylan Harper, whatever, and then half of Stephon Castle.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
They still lost.
Yeah. So when you're saying, is it time to look at the reverse standings? I know what you mean by that. Is it like, are you now rooting for? I don't know if rooting's the right term.
I know. It's terrible.
I guess I'll stay. I mean, I'm not for the way this team is constructed.
Yeah.
They do need to make changes.
Yes.
But I never like having the worst record. Mm-hmm. Just my own mind. Now, if you told me today, if they said, who's our guy, Basketball Jesus? Is he?
Yes.
Where's he been lately?
He has been on vacation.
Okay.
Basketball Jesus has actually been hanging out in Oklahoma City and San Antonio.
Man. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when he comes back west, I'd like to ask, if Basketball Jesus said, no, look, sorry, guys, Dave and Jason, I'm telling you, if you have the worst record, you will win the lottery. Mm-hmm. Well, then that's different.
That's right.
But if it's hey, the third worst will get the lottery. Oh, okay. Where's the magic lottery position? And no one could know that. But just there's a mental part of being the worst team that I don't appreciate. But
I hear you.
Again, I'm not trying to go, hey, if whatever the lowest number of 20 wins was the worst record and they won 21 and got the second spot, I'm not cheering for that.
Right.
Unless I knew that the 2 spot would win the lottery, and no one would ever know that.
Didn't I read somewhere that since they moved, isn't it the top 3 spots, they each have a 24% chance of getting it? Since they did that, the number 1 has always moved down.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's only a 15% chance. It's not great.
It's 24. I could be right. Yeah. So with that in mind, and to your point, Jason, I'm actually good with the Kings being the third worst team in the NBA.
Okay.
That way you're not the worst, but you still have the same amount of numbers. But you're right. I can't bring myself to root for the Kings to lose. I can acknowledge a loss that could be helpful to the team's long-term perspectives, but to root for the team to lose, I'm literally cheering the other team.
Right.
I can't freaking do that. I admit, from a pure non-emotional logical standpoint, that might be the way to go. I can't do it. But what I can do probably is I can start flipping the standings.
Mm-hmm.
So if you flip the standings right now, the Sacramento Kings have the 5th best record in the NBA, and they are just 1.5 games back of the worst. The problem is that when you're doing it that way, 1.5 games of separation is 5.5 games of separation at the top. It really is. Because the Pacers have lost 7 in a row. The Wizards have lost 11 in a row. Now, the Nets got to win. But the only reason the Nets got to win,
someone had to.
They were playing the Wizards.
Yeah, both were 1-11 going into that game. By the way, your lottery odds for 1, 2, and 3, the 3 worst records, all 14%.
14. Thank you. You're right. I was wrong.
So 4th drops to 12.5, 5th 10.5.
Okay.
Down. So,
all right.
So best chances are to be in the bottom 3. Best chances. They're not great.
Yes,
but that's the best chances.
From the 916, it's a good question. It's an understandable text, and I think I would like to address it. Marvin Bagley says that a top draft pick does not guarantee success. Well, 2 things. Number 1, he was a 2nd draft pick, not a top.
Yeah,
Number 1.
Well, that's factual.
Number 2, I'm going to dig up the chart somebody did a couple years ago, and I'm sure they've updated, but it's really There's a lot of misinformation sometimes that just goes around and becomes like, what did I see over the weekend? Not that I don't want to get in trouble here, but somebody was like talking about selling the team, and they're like, can't sell the team, it's going to move. No, it's not going to move. They have like a 30-year lease, and it's insane to break the lease. And on top of that, like, the NBA would never approve it. You're not going to have a team do all what we did and build an arena and do all the stuff that we've done, and then that like. There is a literal 0% chance, not 1, 5, or 10. There is a 0.0% chance of this team moving anytime in the next, let's call it 20 to 25 years. Right. And honestly, longer, but that's just silly misinformation, but it gets out there.
Yeah.
Also, the whole like, well, having look at Thomas Robinson and Marvin Bagley, and look at Anthony Bennett, and not just the Kings on it, Michael Olowokandi, right? But somebody did some great research, and I'll find it and I'll post it, and I'll probably print it out to keep it handy, that showed every draft pick, and it was color coded from 1 all the way down to like the end of the second round. And it was color coded in the sense of what percentage of each pick became a starter, hit an all-star once, hit an all-star multiple times, won an MVP, won championships, did all of those, and it shows you, I think there's like one weird anomaly, I want to say, where it's like the 7 pick did better than the 6th and 5th pick. It's something like that. But with one little anomaly in the lottery, you look at it, and when you see the colors all lined up,
right,
it's very apparent that, especially in the lottery, the higher the pick, the better the chance of that player being an all-star, superstar, etc. I understand it's tempting to be like, well, Nikola Jokic and Draymond Green and like all these second. I mean, you don't need you're talking about picking an M&M out of an entire bowl of Skittles. Like, just because it happened doesn't mean it's going to happen, and you want to count on that and base your research around it.
I will always take my chance for any general manager to win the lottery. On that general manager, if they win it, they have the opportunity to not correctly pick.
That's right.
But I know they would like to pick first. And, for example, look, not every draft has Shaq or LeBron or Victor Wembanyama.
Right.
But if you do have a draft like that, like right now, I think we've said this on the show last week, the Spurs drafted Victor Wembanyama, and I do not think there is a team in the NBA that can make a trade to get him.
I agree with you.
So when you pick first, we can get him later, we'll find a way for agency. Like, I don't think anybody can get Victor Wembanyama.
No.
The Spurs had the chance.
That's right.
They have him. Now, I don't know the way the rest of his career is going to go, but right now, every other team would love to be in the spot the San Antonio Spurs are in. And if they picked 8th in that same draft, maybe the 8th player ends up being somehow, some way better than Victor Wembanyama. Mm-hmm. Could be. Mm-hmm. But right now, people could trade for that 8th pick. They could not trade for Victor Wembanyama.
No, they could not. There is nobody that you could trade for Victor Wembanyama.
Where the Spurs say, you know what, that's enough. We'll do that. Giannis and 9 first-round picks. No, they're going to say no.
They're going to say no. And that, there's literally no trade that could come up. By the way, to your point, I'm just looking at scoring leaders. This is not a breakdown of the best players in the NBA, but it's pretty good. Luka Doncic was picked 3rd. Giannis Antetokounmpo was picked 15th. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was picked 11th. Tyrese Maxey was picked 21st. Lauri Markkanen was picked 7. Donovan Mitchell, I want to say, was 13th. Sorry. Nikola Jokic, obviously, 2nd round. Devin Booker was 13th. Austin Reeves was not drafted. Jalen Brunson was picked number 33 in the 2nd round. And then we get to Cade Cunningham, who was the number 1 pick in the draft. You have to go all the way down to the 11th player in your top scorers in the NBA to find a number 1 pick. Again, scoring isn't everything, blah, 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 but you see that you don't have to have the 1 pick. You do have to hit. And for those saying, well, the Kings have never hit before, to that I say yes.
They have some. The majority have not in the lottery, but they have.
But Tyrese Halliburton on line 1, De'Aaron Fox on line 2, DeMarcus Cousins on line 3,
But there's a lot of misses.
That's more misses than not. Yeah. And I would say, and I will defeat my own logic here, by the way, I say always, the more darts you have to throw at the board, the more likely it is to hit a bullseye. Now, that being said, there are 8 things I'm about to say against that logic. Okay. Dwayne Coswell, Anthony Bonner, Travis Mays, Lionel Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is weirdly going to be the tougher one. Scala BCA, Malachi Richardson, Justin Jackson, Harry Giles. Am I mixing it up?
Are you saying in the same draft?
Didn't they have 4 firsts again? No.
No, but they had 2 in the...
They had Jackson and Giles at what?
Which was Zach Collins initially, right?
And that ended up being what, 13 or it was 15 and 20.
Sorry, it was Fox and Zach Collins.
That's
but
right.
Then Fox and Zach Collins turned into Justin Jackson and Giles.
Right. So they had 3 picks. They hit 1, and sadly, they could have kept that pick and drafted Donovan Mitchell. Correct. I don't know. That's the one that really gets me, and it's like, that's kind of cheating, but still, it was right there. That doesn't always work out.
Right.
Question 2.
Question 2.
Will the Kings' issues get you more into college basketball this season?
Yeah, it will actually, because we're back to that now. And I love college basketball anyways, but generally, starting in February, keep kind of an eye on it. Then in February, really start watching. Then you get down to the conference tournaments. Now I'm really watching because I want to get my brackets going. We didn't have a pick last year. Well, we ended up having a pick, but that was the Herder pick that was gone, the lottery pick. So, all right. Now I'm kind of like, I already know A.J. DeMonta and Cameron Boozer and Daryl What's-His-Face, who's probably going number 1, and a few others. Like, I'm already getting a little more familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Take-a-thon every single day and doing the lottery. Let's simulate the lottery, Jason, shall we?
You do.
Today's Kings move up 2 spots. A.J. DeMonta, BYU.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, did you hear about the BYU basketball player that got the allegedly got the DUI?
I did not.
Dude, like okay. Full stop, you can't do that,
right?
Like anywhere.
But
at BYU, like,
a little different.
Oh my goodness. Would just love the Kings to get a top. I would be very, very happy. Very, very happy with that. They've got a power forward, a small forward. To be honest with you, DeMonta might be, he and Darren Peterson are thought to be probably the 2 best players in the draft where we're sitting right now.
Yeah.
Who knows? It'll probably be Kareem Lopez out of New Zealand set to go 10th. But you want to talk about 2 spots, whether it's Boozer at power forward or Peterson at point guard that the Kings need. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I was thinking about just the process of this. We don't know where the Kings will finish, but I'm going to go back just to, it's several years back, and I'm going to try to get you and me and everyone else where they were emotionally. I remember being on air when the Kings were supposed to pick 7th. That was their pre-draft lottery status.
Right.
Lottery comes out, they're not at 7, so now we know they're in the top 4.
Yes.
Going to that commercial, you're like, oh my goodness. Now it already feels after a disappointing season that you won something.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't 4. They weren't 3. Boom, they got 2. That's yes. I know they ultimately drafted Marvin Bagley, but for those next few months, it was they won. They won something. Right. And so that's the other part about that, Dave, is it now becomes another asset. That's whether you draft the pick, whether you trade the pick, it's just something that you get as a check mark in your favor. Now, you still have to draft correctly.
Yes.
Or trade that pick correctly or whatever you do with it.
That's right.
But that feeling of having a rough season and then feeling like, hey, it wasn't all for naught is a pretty good feeling.
Especially when you have a Cooper Flagg or Victor Wembanyama, too. Like, I want that one time.
Yes.
Like, we didn't have that for Purvis Ellison.
Nope.
And then when we finally did kind of have it for Luka Doncic, we drafted Marvin Bagley Jr., which, by the way, I keep bringing this up, and I'm going to keep bringing this up because, as I've stated many times, T-shirts coming soon. God hates Sacramento. You know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to say it again, and we're going to move question 3 to the next segment here.
What's going to happen?
The Sacramento Kings are either going to get or move up to the number 2 pick in the draft. And sitting there will be a pick that makes all the sense in the world. An absolutely dominant 18-year-old, larger-than-life power forward that plays at Duke. And we're all going to have the biggest PTSD ever.
Yeah, well, and even if it's Peterson?
Uh-huh.
Kansas?
Uh-huh.
I mean,
yes, Thomas Robinson.
McLemore.
And a long list. I mean, not just, those are the two with the Kings. A long list of Kansas players that are like even worse than Florida State players when it comes to, because they're so much better.
Yeah. Which you can't do to them. It's unfair.
It's
but
totally unfair.
They could go down that road. Absolutely. But they also may have their own shining career.
And I mean, I got to be honest, it's completely different too. But also, can I just say for the record, didn't go that great the last time we drafted a lottery pick out of BYU. I'm telling you.
Now I don't want them to win it.
I'm telling you, no matter what.
Who's fourth?
Nate Ahmed from Tennessee. Let's go.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Koa Pete from Arizona. Tuande Yasufu from Baylor. Baylor, Donovan Mitchell or Davion Mitchell.
Yeah.
Caleb Wilson, North Carolina. He's averaging 27.
There's no one to take.
There's literally nobody to take, Jason. I'm going with Kareem Lopez for New Zealand. Oh, wait, look who's taking them, Oklahoma City.
They know something.
I'll find a place for this draft, but I want to get into question 3. So when we come back, ChatGPT outlined how it would rebuild the Sacramento Kings, and it was quite specific. We'll run over that and see how you feel about